Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer, y'all. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe. Y'all, I say it often, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. We are looking at AMD and we closed at $200.21. And as you can see, y'all, we came down to this 191.50, well, a little under there. We came down to the 190.107, bounced from there only to come back up, got rejected at that ATR trail and stop, which is right at that 195.67 area that we have marked. So as of now, pre-market is the time of recording this video. Support is around 193.82, resistance 195.67. Now, should we break that 195.67, the next level 196.64, 197.15, 198.66. Breaking that 199.07, not very far away. However, breaking that level of 199.07, that's $200.48. So breaking the 199.07, $200.48 is the next level. And should we break that today, anything is possible, right? 201.54, breaking that level 202.03, and y'all see the 200 EMA is really close to that 202.03. That's a tongue twister. Yeah, 202.17 is our 200 EMA as of now. Very close, right? So I say if you're trading AMD today, trade carefully. The market is interesting, right? Because of what's going on in the world. Just trade carefully, mark your levels, identify your support and resistance areas. Again, not financial advice. So let's go look at AMD to the downside, right? So if by chance we break under this level here of 193.82, let's see, price still came back down to around that 193.49 area. If we should break that, we could very well come back to somewhere around, let's say, the 192.23, and breaking that, the next level 191.50. So under this 191.50 today, 190.65, and breaking that 189.01. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out anywhere in this area here. So breaking the 189.01, we could very well come back to 187.38. Again, we can get stopped out anywhere in this area here. So if you're trading AMD today, again, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully. So under the 187.38, the next level around 186.74, and should we break that 185.26, again, we can get stopped out anywhere in this area here. So again, if AMD is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all, mark your levels. Once it goes against your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at 648.18. We've come down to the 632 area, 632.74. The low of this candle 632.05, which is not far from that 631.73 area that I have marked. Either way, we bounced from there only to come back up. We got rejected here at the 638.61. What's interesting is how this candle moved all the way to this area only to come back down to where the body of the candle is here. That's very important for me. So back to the upside, we will need to get back above the 638.61. We could possibly have trouble 639.97. Y'all see it there. Breaking that 640.42. And should we break that 641.47, 641.98, 642.60, and again 643.20. Should we break that 643.20 area for Meta today, 643.98. And should we break that, there's a few layers of resistance here. Let's say the 645.32, which puts us kind of close to where that 200 EMA is as of right now, that 645.47. So if we should break that, we could possibly 645.83, and the high of this candle, which is here, is around the 646.56. So that could be another rejection area for us, y'all. In this market, anything is possible. I need to say that, right? Again, anything is possible. So let's say we break under 636.79 for Meta. And I'm going to mark this. Why? Because there's a body of the candle. We touched that a few times. Something held us up in this area right here. and that's at the 636.47. And yes, it is close, but again, it could be an area of support for us. So that 636.47, breaking that 635.43, and should we break that 634.64, breaking that 633.80, breaking the 633.80 for Meta today, 632.74, and should we break that 631.73, breaking that 631.73 for Meta today, the next level we have is around the 630.17. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out anywhere in this area here. So breaking that 630.17, the next level I have marked for support is around the 628.18. Again, not financial advice, right? Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out anywhere in this area here. So if Meta is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all, mark your levels once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade. Get out. Make sure that you have a reason before entering the trade, right? So we are now looking at NVIDIA. We closed at 177.19. Looks as if we had a pre-market low of 173.10. which is here. We've bounced from there only to get rejected somewhere around that 176.16. We kind of knew that, right? So where the trouble places back to the upside, we will need to stay above get back above the 175.88, possibly have trouble 176.16, again at 176.38, 176.60. Should we break that 176.89 and breaking that for NVIDIA today, 177.13. Keep in mind, there's a few layers of resistance up to this 50 EMA 177.43. However, breaking that 177.59, again at 177.80, 177.99. Those are possible areas of resistance. Now back to the downside. Let's say we get back under this 174.68. We can come back to 174.52. There's a few layers of support in this area. Now breaking that, we could very well come back to 174.18, and again at 174, which is here, right? So breaking that 174 for NVIDIA today, 173.63 could be a support area. And should we break that, y'all see where price just gathered right here in this area, 173.31. Something held us in this area, so that could be a strong area of support, not financial advice. So again, breaking this level 173.63, we could very well come back to 173.31 and breaking that 173.14. Should we break the 173.14, 172.84. So those are possible areas of support and resistance for NVIDIA. Again, y'all, I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are, right? So we are now looking at the SPY. We closed at 685.99. We had a 674 here pre-market. Well, yes, low at 674.60, and we came up, tried to get bounce from there. Looks like we had some trouble at this area. Y'all see, we kind of knew we could possibly have trouble just right there. That 681.35. Now breaking that level, we have the 50 EMA and a few layers of resistance. So that 681.78 up to the 682.12 could be areas of resistance for the SPY. Now breaking that, we could very well have trouble again. 682.79, 682.96, 683.23, and again here at 683.75. Now breaking the 683.75 for the SPY today, 684.27. Should we break that 684.88 and breaking that 685.21? Should we break that, which is not far away. Y'all see the next level is around the 685.58, which is where our 50 EMA or our 200 EMA is as of right now, very close to that area. So if you're trading the SPY today to the upside, those are possible areas of resistance. Again, not financial advice. Now let's say we break under the 678.47 for the SPY. We can come back to 678, breaking that 678, 676.99, breaking that level 675.89, and should we break that 675.14, breaking that 675.14 for the SPY. You see the ATR trail and stop is forming right here at a level like around the 674.56, which puts us on right kind of like in this area here that held us up before. That will be interesting. So breaking this level level for the SPY today, we could very well come back to 673.95, 673.61, and 673 for support. Again, not financial advice, y'all. Mark your levels, and once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So we are looking at Tesla, y'all, and I say it so often, Tesla does what Tesla does, right? So as of right now, we closed at 402.51, and it seems as if we've come down to 388, bounced from there only to come back up. Let's see, the high of this candle here is 394.50. So we have some trouble, and as we knew, right, those are areas we kind of knew we could possibly have trouble. So at the time of recording, we can say that support is around, let's say, this area 391.97, and we can use this area for resistance 394.18. However, breaking that 394.96, 395.48, 396.66, 397.60, 398.09, 398.62. Should we break that, $400.56? Should we break that, $401.32, $401.32, and breaking that for the spot, for Tesla today, 402.02. Yes, there's a few layers right there from the 402.02 up to the 402.54. That could be a strong area of resistance for Tesla, not financial advice. However, breaking that 402.54, the next level, 403.68, and this 404.80 is a strong area of support and or resistance. In this case, it will be a resistance for us. It was a support, now it is our resistance, and it's really close to our 200 EMA. Again, on this 30-minute chart, I said often, I just like to look at the 30-minute chart. It tells a story I love to read, right? So let's look at Tesla to the downside, right? So under the 391.97, we can come back to around the 391.34. Should we break that for Tesla, 390.42? Should we break that, 389.67, and breaking that 389.01? Breaking the 389.01 for Tesla today, we could very well come back to the 387.75 is what I have. But as you can see, the body of the candles for this kind of like double bottom is around that 388.17. So that could be our support area. Again, not financial advice. However, breaking that 388.17, 387.75, and under that 386.99. Now breaking the 386.99, we could very well come back to 384.91. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out anywhere in this area here. So if you're trading Tesla today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Again, not financial advice. What's interesting about Tesla is that, breaking this 386.99, again, we can come back to the 384.91, and under that 383.39. I did mark this gold line here as the 200 EMA on the daily chart, which is around the 395.43, and we are under that level. So we're under the 200 EMA on the daily chart for Tesla, which is around that 395.43 area. So staying under that or going back to that to get rejected and possibly come back down could be possible. Let's say that anything is possible. So if you're trading Tesla today, I say it so often, y'all, mark your levels, make sure you have a reason before getting in the trade. And once it goes against your why or whatever reason that you got in the trade, get out, right? So this is what I see when I look at the market. And I say it often, y'all, there's so many different ways to trade the market. And what's challenging at times is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you and for you to have the discipline. It takes discipline to execute your plan, making sure, again, you have a plan before going into the trade. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very productive day today. I say that often, right? But if you could please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.